Going 10 years back, going 8 years back, as you are aware that Tata's always were conservative in terms of their business approaches. That is something which is known. But in terms of the risk management, that is something not what was a very regimented thing which was followed in the group as well. So I think the first and the foremost important thing which got changed as regards the ERM structure was the culture. The most important thing which got changed was the culture which was brought into the companies, which was brought into the group per se from the board level. So from the board level, the risk culture was something which was imbibed onto the company, which was not there earlier. Earlier, risk was there as a part of the normal business, doing alliances, doing investments, so it was a part of the business. But giving it a concrete culture, that was something which came, which Mr. Tata actually did it in early 2000, before the advent of the huge merger and acquisitions and the foreign investments which the Tata Steel as well as the Tata Group did. So that was the first important change which was brought about as regards the culture. It was a top driven. So to some they feel that it should have been bottom driven up, but believe me, my experience, what we had in the company, that these things don't run till the time they are top driven. So once it forms a part of the governance, once it forms a part of the culture, obviously the board has a risk committee, the board has an audit committee which perceives the risk. But driving down the culture, driving the risk as an element of the values of the organization, that is something which has to be built in from the top. And that actually made the difference. Risk committees were there earlier. They were made more structured, and a lot of effort was put on setting up the ERM architecture. When we talk about risk in our company, we say that we have a ERM system, we have a ERM process, but how much time we really introspect in that, what is the resources we put into that ERM structure? What is that in our annual budget? What is the investment we do on a year-on-year basis in terms of strengthening our ERM infrastructure, strengthening our risk infrastructure? So that is something also which, as a part of the group as well as for the board requirement, a lot of concerted efforts was put on that we need to invest in setting up the ERM architecture. It is not going to run on its own. It cannot be a concept. Just having it as a concept, just having it as an idea doesn't help the bottom line. So it actually has to be in some sort of a full drawn down architecture with real investment plans, investment in terms of resources, investment in terms of employment of correct people, employment of correct technology, use of analytics, use of quantitative techniques, so that it has got a systematic process to ensure that the risk structure is getting built up.